Hey guys, so I'm gonna just get to the point of what this video is about. I want to go ahead and do a food review on a place that I went to today called Pretti Plates in Atlanta, Georgia. So I use my platform as part of, just being positive. I show different places that me and my homegirls like to go to in Atlanta, to show the culture, to show the food, to show us just turning up, thriving, living life and stuff like that. So we chose to go to a place today called Pretti Plates in Atlanta, Georgia, and it is a no-go. Do not go to this place in Atlanta. It is a sham. I don't know who they're paying off, allegedly, to do these videos to make it seem like this is the trendy, cool little brunch spot. But let me tell you about my experience at this brunch spot to date. So first of all, the first indicator that something was off was that this place is in a gas station parking lot. So basically it's connected to the gas station, which, is just like, okay, well, Atlanta's different. It might, just be an interesting little location. We're going to give it a little shot. So we go in, right? And so basically this place is like a glorified diner. So let's just say they just done added like a telephone booth, some carpet, a placard, like they added flowers on the ceiling, flowers all on the windows and stuff like that. The little nook where they would have like the person making the food at the diner, they turned that into a bar. It's real cute and pretty in there and stuff like that. They got the little chairs and the little tables and stuff set up like that. So it's a nice little Instagrammable place or whatever. So basically we get inside of there and there's no hostess. We had a 3:00 reservation and there was no hostess, so we just looking around confused like, okay, what do we do? So there was someone who came up to us, one of the girls. I say she was one of the better ones, but she was still part of the little peanut gallery crew who basically aiding and abetting in the bad behavior of the restaurant. So basically, we were like, hey, we have a 3:00 reservation, is there a table? She's just like, oh no, there's no table. It's really, really busy right now. We do have a spot at the bar, this congested little bar nook. And we were just like, what? And she was just like, you can kind of wait for a table because some people might be leaving in a little bit. But if you sit at the bar, we can give you a drink or whatever. So we already just like, oh my goodness. Okay, we'll just sit at the bar. So we go to the bar and they give us like this little tiny shot of something called a Jolly Rancher thing that ended up giving us a headache because the liquor was cheap. Because any kind of liquor that's going to give me a headache after like one drink is cheap. And they have this little thing where we have to scan to look at the menu. And so when it gets on your phone, it looks like you can like directly order the stuff. So I just kind of said it out loud, like, do we have to order here? So here comes the bartender very rudely talking about, you order with me. You don't order on the site, you order with me. And I'm just looking like, well, dang. Okay, so it takes her at least a good 5 to 10 minutes to take our drink order. And then after that, it takes her another 15 to 20 minutes to take our food order. So, okay, so we're just waiting around. We just looking like, okay, what's going on? We see other people sitting and waiting, right? And we never got water, we never got asked how we were doing during our stay. So we just sitting and we're waiting and we just kind of texting each other because the mood is off. The bartender is rude. We're trying to she can hear, right? Because she heard me mumbling. But when we asking her for some stuff or some more drinks or order something or whatever, you act like you can't hear us or whatever. So this after about 2 hours, we were just totally frustrated. Like I had a conversation with the girls next to me and they had been there before us. It took them almost 2 hours to get their food. Some girls in the corner, they were upset because they hadn't gotten their food. It was some girls on the other side who they had added an extra $90 charge on their meal. So it was all types of chaos. So almost 2 hours into this, the original girl who came up trying to seat us was telling my friend like, hey, if you had put in a reservation online and it charged you $25, that does go towards your meal and stuff. So I don't know if she was trying to placate or whatever. So my friend started looking up to see if they had charged her. So I was just like, well, are we going to get any kind of compensation for having to wait almost 2 hours or even having to sit at the bar when we had a reservation, because this is just unacceptable. And so that's when she starts trying to be like, oh, well, we offered you a table. The table that they did offer us was near the bathroom. It was very small. It was almost like, if you can remember elementary school, those small little desks. It's like two little desks stuck together, situated right next to the bathroom. Who wants to sit next to the bathroom while they eat? Not me. So I guess the owner, now this is the owner, Chef Tanya, I believe is her name. She comes up and hear us talking, and she's just like, oh, what's going on? So I start explaining to her that we've been waiting almost 2 hours for our food, and this is unacceptable. And she's just like, oh, well, you didn't wait 2 hours. So she wanted to start playing the semantics game. She was just like, oh, because I was up here when y'all came down and came in, and it hasn't been almost 2 hours. I'm like, ma'am, it's been about an hour and a half since we've been waiting. Do you know what she does? She calls the bartender to pull up our ticket to see what time it was ordered. We ordered the food. It was at 3:45. But remember, it took the bartender a good 20 minutes before she put our order in. So she just starts trying to justify her way out of this. Oh, it's not our fault that people call out. Oh, we've only been open for a month. Oh, where you gonna have to work with us. And, Saturdays and Sundays aren't the best days to come, come during the week because this is the busiest time. And we're like, man, we came far out. We drove like an hour and a half, 2.5 hours for my friend to come out and enjoy. And like, we're waiting this long. And she's just like, oh, well, you just have to understand this, that, and the other. This is the restaurant business and this how stuff works. And we're working through the kinks. It's no, I'm sorry. No, I understand your situation. I understand that you drove this far. I understand that it's been 2 hours. We apologize. We're a little understaffed. None of this, none of the I understand, anything like that. And with me, like I said, I'm a very understanding person, but I've worked in the restaurant business before. I know that within the first 5 minutes, people need to have their water. Within the first 15 minutes, they need to have their appetizer. Within the first at least 20 to 30 minutes, they need to have their food. Now, albeit if you order a steak or something that takes longer, that takes longer. But I know how this stuff works, so don't try to sit and out the restaurant business, because I get it, baby. I worked in a restaurant business. I've never owned a restaurant, but I get it. But I also do know that you don't justify your wrongdoings. When someone is telling you, hey, this is my experience, I don't like this, you don't try to justify the wrong. You try to figure out how to fix it. And see, that was my problem that people had with like Keith Lee, trying to tell Keith Lee, oh, he was wrong, that he needs to be highlighting the experiences that he had and not tearing down black businesses. No, people are just merely explaining their experiences, and you don't just sit down and try to cut me down and knock me over my head because I'm telling you I didn't like this experience. You listen to me and you take notes, and then you go back and you try to fix it. That's how you are successful. So what this woman went on ahead and did, I told her that it's been 2 hours since my friend ordered her appetizer. So I know the appetizer should have been here. So she goes back to try to look it up and see what she can do or whatever. And by this time we were over. We were like, you know what? Can we just go ahead and get our tab for the drink? Because we had ordered like a drink or two, and we just wanted to go ahead and pay for our drinks and just forget about it. Because at this point, not only can you can't even be accountable for the fact that we sat here, we had a bad experience. But then you're going to sit up there and almost like have a little attitude of back and forth bickering with me, and you're supposed to be the owner. Man, what? So we just said, forget about it. So while the bartender was catching us out, here comes the owner coming back with these dry looking soul food egg rolls, talking about, oh, here's your appetizer. We were like, oh, no, we don't want it. Oh, you don't want it? No, we don't want it. Okay, then bye, and walk back. Like, she mad because we decided to leave because we didn't have our food after an hour and a half. Now, where do we go from here? If I'm patronizing this business, I deserve to have a good experience. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really starting to think like TikTok and Instagram and these people on social media sitting up here creating these videos of these restaurants or these dining places or these brunch places just because they're cute on the inside and making it seem like the experience is grand. They need to stop doing that, because all they're doing is perpetuating a stereotype like these places are good and they're not. And with this